So what the heck is this? Yeah. So that's the new KO2 called Riddim. Alright, so I have to stop this. Yeah, so Teenage Engineering came up with another of the clone, and this is my totally honest review of this, or basically not even a review. I'm kind of going to roast it. Testing, hello, hello. Okay. Yeah. So what the heck is this? I think you would appreciate if I made the whole video like this, right? Teenage Engineering came up with a new gadget, I think, like, or gizmo. It's another clone of, okay, yeah. It's another clone of KO2, which in my opinion was really brilliant. I really like the visuals and everything. When I saw the KO2 before the update, because it just wasn't enough, and I got this one, and why I got the medieval, I'll explain later, but this is KO2 version 3 now. Basically what you see here is a firmware update, okay, to KO2 with a new case. I like what it's supposed to be, I just don't like the whole presentation, which I'll explain later, has such a Fisher Price look to me. I think the KO2 was really striking. I think like the color combination and everything, it just really was striking, and it looked really good. When I saw it online, I was like, wow, you know, somebody's thinking out of the box. I don't think this is thinking out of the box. I think this is just finding something in a toy store and then just making it look like it. Well, anyway, so let's just go right to it, and yeah. It's a reggae machine. Sounds nice, I assume. But look at this, okay? There's the last one. These were just 3 loops. So that's the new thing. When they added, we can now have a loops. And they filled it with reggae loops, which is kind of funny. This way you can make it anything, right? And with pre-made loops, there is always this same issue I had with the medieval, when they're like pre-made phrases. They are good for the demo, but that's it. I mean, there is only so much you can do with pre-made loops before they just sound the same. And the big thing about that is it's just very simple and easy way, especially for resampling, because you make your pattern with drums and bass and whatever, and then just very easily you resample to a loop, and then that loop can be just one of these buttons. That's definitely, I think, good thing, and I'm surprised the KO2 doesn't do that. They added a synth, so sound, keys, shift edit, okay, yes. So they added the synth, and they, like people would say like different sound engines, but it sounds or looks like one engine, which you have only 2 parameters at any time to edit. So there are like 10 presets, but only 2 of those parameters in each preset you can edit. So let's see, shift edit. So basically that's it for this preset. So that's the second thing. And the third thing is a so-called live feature, which can disable any of those buttons you don't want to touch, which is great addition. I can't complain about the features they added. My point is, this was supposed to be added to KO2, but no, they released this clone, and together with that they release this beauty. 1, 2, 3, and on a picture it looks nice, but in a real life, just wait for it. Okay, so as a package, it's definitely the best EP they made so far. This is the 3rd version, and I got the KO2 before the update. I sold it because it just wasn't enough, and then I got the medieval, and now I'm trying this thing, which is the replacement for KO2 in all sense. Oh, another update is now it has 128 megabytes. We are living in the future. So 128 megabytes of sampling memory, while the KO2 had only 64. And medieval had 128 too of some sort of memory, but in fact 96 of it is locked. So you have only 32 megabytes of memory, which you can use for sampling. You cannot remove the samples from the 96 megabytes. So it's kind of like a closed system. Everything here, I think it's a real progress. I'm just like thinking, this was supposed to be KO2, not a new machine, so maybe they will update KO2. I don't necessarily think they need to add the synth, but the loops kind of should be in the KO2, I think. And now let's look at the whole presentation. I really thought the KO2 was great. I think when I first saw it on the video, they literally made it so it looks good on camera, and that's how they sell things. They just look good on camera. So they made the KO2, and I just look at it. I didn't even know what it is, and I had to actually use the Google search engine, the reverse image, to see what it is, because I had no idea. It was great. I really liked that idea. It had some sort of office nostalgia, right? Like a calculator, and if I had that one on my table, and my wife or kids, they would just look at it, they wouldn't even think it's anything, just some sort of weird calculator, whatever. Then they came out with the medieval, and I really thought it's ugly. All these kind of looks like a, how we call it, goulash, like a soup where you just throw everything. They sold it as some sort of joke, and if you look at the videos, the promo videos, they were just making fun of themselves and sort of fun of like the nerdy stuff, like D&D, and let's make a medieval dubstep. So I bought it for that purpose, because it is a sort of musical joke which no one else would be willing to do, but they did. They made it this way, and I kind of like get it. I adore that kind of whimsical thinking. But now when you look at the promo of the Riddim, they seems to be very serious. They got all the Jamaican kings. I don't necessarily understand the music, but I totally appreciate it. But this looks like a distillation of it. And this, I don't even know why I'm not playing here. I don't get this putting reggae loops, pre-made loops, and making it like now it's a reggae machine. Like, you can put any loops in it and make it an orchestral machine. So are we going to do that in the version 4? The other little update is that it can play the multi-samples which they originally introduced in Medieval, and it never came to KO2. It's basically a single wave file which is split into like maybe 5 different pieces, and each piece has attached data what pitch it is, and so this way you can have like multi-sample instrument which actually, you know, play well. I'll show you. So I'm going to whatever I have here is this. You see what I was working on. No, it's definitely not that. Yeah, there's a lot of this in Medieval. So it also sustains. There is a little loop within each of the segments, and it's a very clever system because with very little you can get a pretty decent sound. So it's a clever system. Like the high tone is kind of breathy sound, right? The lower tone is not breathy, but if I go from the breathy sound to the lower tone used the high sample. It's actually a clever system. I really like it. I like what they've done. I like how it blends smartly the little slices. So that's there too. The problem with this clever system is they kind of made it for themselves. That means you can't really make this by yourself, like the multi-sample, you cannot do it. In Medieval case, it's maybe like 6 instruments which they prepared for you, but you can't really make your own because they don't give you any tools. You in theory can, because like I made a Python script which it would slice it into little segments, and I can probably make a Python script which will combine them, and but it's too much work, right? And they didn't give you this option to do it. So in Medieval case, it's maybe 6 instruments which are like that, 6, 7, I don't know. And I don't know how many of those multi-sample instruments are here. The point is, it sounds good on the paper. In reality, you cannot make those. Maybe we can find them. These are all loops, so maybe 100 loops. Effects. Well, I don't know if this one is multi-sample, but this one shows the looping point, right? It's a sample with predefined looping points, and I really appreciate that. Again, I think that should be in KO2. Yeah, again, it's very hard to see which sounds are multi-sample and which are not. But as in the Medieval, I assume it will be just very few of them. I did download the WAV files. Okay, I found one. It's 501 Hammond. So yeah, I think I was right. So the 501 is looping multi-sample. Yeah, the 500 is also multi-sample. Yeah, when you look at the waveform, it is visible. 503 is also multi-sample. And that's from the leads. That's basically it. We have 4 melodica, yeah, 5 of 2. That's what it is. That's it. We have 3 multi-sample instruments here, and you can't really make your own. I could actually drag the multi-sample from the medieval, and it would work, of course, except the interface allows you to transfer only 20 seconds. And the maximum sample length is only 20 seconds, and I think only like 2 which fall under that, 2 or 3 multi-samples from the 6, whatever. It is a feature for the feature's sake, if they're not going to give you the tools to actually make one. Anyway, let's talk about the looks. This was sort of a joke, so I take it. Like, it is ugly. Now this, I would call it ugly, but it's more like cheesy. If I put this one on the table and my wife and kids would see it, they would think that I just got something from the kids store, right? It has such a vibes of Fisher-Price, like these huge letters. Now, you know, the KO2 and medieval had these group buttons, A, B, C, D, because you can put any samples in each group as you want. But now, for the kids version, put little pictures on it. So here you put drums, here you put guitars or bass, here you put, thought actually these are little people. But no, that's keys. And these are effects. You can put samples in any of those as you want, but now they give you the picture. So it's even more Fisher-Price vibe than also, you know, the letters here. I don't know with the display. I really don't know. I don't know if you can see anything properly, but it's like a, you know, green LED under the green display. It's not necessarily the best thing ever, unlike all the previous ones where you actually don't see the icons. They kind of like reveal themselves and it makes it nice and contrasty. Here they decided not to do that. You constantly see this sea of icon. I don't really like it. Hipster, TTF, I don't know. And it's just a skin, right? Like, it's just a paint job. It really shouldn't bother me. And then there is the last thing, and that's this thing. Which, okay, I have so many things to say about this. Like, luckily, it is a... Okay, let me plug it in. Luckily, it is a freebie so far. It's a mic. It's a mic with onboard effects. Not only there are effects, but it does also react to shaking. When I shake it, it adds echo. Hey, hey, hey. And also the switch changes the effects. In this case, it could be the pitch of the sound. On the paper, it's fine. Kind of neat, but in the reality, what can I say? It fits to kids' hands. It doesn't fit to adult hands without me pressing these buttons. Like, in any way, I actually disabled the sounds by uploading short wave of silence because this was so annoying. When you press this button, which you would press constantly by accident, there will be this siren and horn. And when you have a headphones and you just accidentally press this. So I removed it, but I'm going to put it as it was before. So I put it back as it was originally, right? So no matter how you hold it, it's going to trigger these sounds, and this is for such a small hands, and there is nowhere to put your fingers without triggering something. And you can see it on the promo video how they just try to hold it really awkwardly, just not to trigger these things, because it's really like... So anyway, it's easy to disable by just loading 4 waves into the USB. So when you plug it in, it kind of starts to behave like a little tiny USB disk with 1 megabyte of free space, and you put 4 waves, name 1, 2, 3, 4, with silence, just short silence, and then you disable the button. But that wouldn't be the biggest problem. When I press the mic, press it down. I'm trying to be real gentle. There is some sort of switch at the end. There's a click, which I don't know if it is on purpose, just to make it really lo-fi. But what you will hear is the cable, especially when you shake it, right? And you will hear your fingers all over it. So I don't know. I don't really know what they were aiming for. In theory, this is an interesting idea, but it is so Fisher-Price. This is really made as a toy for, not even for adult hands. After you disable the effects, so they don't trigger accidentally all the time, then you still have this incredibly noisy and not isolated mic. But that's not all at all. When it's on, I don't know if you can hear it, but I will just enhance the sound of it. It has a noise without even pressing the mic. It has some sort of electrical noise. And of course, when it's off, the noise is gone. And now it's silent. Let me just switch it on. It's very faint. Okay, just what you hear is the processor, the microchip of this amazing device. So as a freebie, I'm fine. Yeah, this was free with the purchase. So, but they actually want to sell it separately for $60. And I'm sorry, like, this is really a kid's toy. And the funniest thing is, the really Fisher-Price play pretend is, if you take the top mask off, you realize that's the microphone capsule. And all this is just pretend play screen, which the only place it actually interacts with the mic is this last little notch. That's where the sounds go. The rest is just for talking to the batteries, because they need to hear you. Honestly, it's worse quality than the mic here. So I'm sorry for this. Again, the idea is cute and it looks good on the promo videos and pictures, but in reality, this is a waste of money. Let me go through the effects, which are a little bit changeable, although there is not much info, but you can kind of like put a config file on that little disk, which once you boot it, it will read, and you can somehow change the effects, but it's not clear, like the info doesn't exist. yet. But so first of all, there will be nothing. So this is clean signal, clean as it goes, clean with the idea of hearing everything. What you do with it. Then this one, testing. So the first effect, the second, wow.
It's like a chipmunk. So, I don't know. This is exactly what I want.
The last one is the pitch. So
You decide if this is worth money. In my
opinion, this is something when you get for free, you play with it and then you'll unplug it and throw it into the bottom of your drawer somewhere. And it does sound good. Again, you know, demo done by 3 loops. Even drums. Not even trying to make the drums as a single shot, just a loop. Okay, this is what I've done yesterday. I'll show you how easy it's to use the loop function now. Because let's say I'd like to I'd like to resample this. So all I need to go is just press sample. Now it says microphone. Okay, I'll stop it. It says microphone and I will just put to resample. Now here is another thing which I think it's a firmware bug, because this is supposed to be a mono resample, so this one is lit. The next one is supposed to be stereo resample. This one should be lit, but it's not. So I'm at the end. So I have 2 of resamples. One should be stereo, one should be mono, but I have no indication which one is stereo. I think it's the last one which is stereo, so I'm going to resample in stereo. Here I will just put shift pad, so this is where I'm going to resample. Now I can change the size of the resample, so let's make it 4 bars. And then I'll just press play and immediately play with effects. And I got 4 bars of resample here with everything I've done to it. That's really easy, right? And now I can switch off all the others and have just one loop going on, synchronized to the tempo. So that's really good. You know, I'm kind of roasting it, but that's really nice, right? When the loop plays, you see the red light is on. I wish it was multicolored, and then I know, you know, this could be yellow, and I know it's a loop, because otherwise I don't know this is a loop. Resampling is really nice. I think the best feature of this update, but let's see how it deals with the change of tempo. So I have a loop going through the bar, and now let's change the tempo. Oh, let's press the tempo, and so it does a good job speeding it and slowing it down, even though it's a loop. So then again, that's another of these things which Teenage Engineering does. The algorithms and stuff are pretty decent in all of their little boxes. So yeah, you cannot go too wild, but it's definitely a great firmware update for the KO2, even though it costs $300 and it's made uglier. That's my take on this. Teenage Engineering, they know the audience. It is really fun. I still like the medieval more for the joke of it, even though it really does the same thing. My wish would be that they update the medieval. For example, the resampling, there is no resampling on medieval, but sampling, you can't do the shift pad I did when it's waiting for me to play, or if I select microphone. If I select microphone, and I can arm it, set a threshold, and then maybe take a guitar and strum, and it will capture it. I cannot do that on medieval because there is no shift sampling. You have to hold it, and they don't seem to be concerned about updating it, so it's kind of pity. Of course, you can add all these sounds to the Riddim, and then you have a Riddim medieval. Let's do just like some improv jam.
Meow. Meow.
Let me take the meow out.
Meow. 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 Meow.
So I connected this one as the master, so sync out to sync in. It's because when you do it the other way, the loops would not trigger properly. And then just connecting output of this one to the medieval input, the audio input, and just one out. So it's really easy.
the siren.
Get it. I get it. Time for the siren. 1,